Hello, kindergarten boot campers. Mrs. Klaus here. Welcome back to Kindergarten Boot Camp. Today we are going to talk about the letters of the alphabet. You've probably gone over these lots and lots of times and you know all about the A through the Z. But we're just going to review it just so that you know what you need to start kindergarten. But first, let's get out our calendar. We're going to take the Monday away and we're going to put up Tuesday. And it's no longer the 10th of the month. Today, it's the 11th of August. And today's a little bit cloudy when I looked out. So we'll put the cloudy sign up. But it's still summer for a little bit longer. All right, so we have the day of the week, Tuesday, the 11th day of August, on a cloudy day in summer. And let's practice our Pledge of Allegiance. Get out the flag. Put your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have you been practicing the flag salute and the pledge? All right, so today we are going to talk about our letters. If you have a folder or if you have the downloads from our website, northlandlibrary.org, you'll want to find this practice sheet that has all the letters to trace. And even if you already know all the alphabet, it's always good practice. And we're going to go over how to hold a pencil too. Get my pencil out. I like these nice big primary pencils. Now, when I was just learning to write, I used to grab the pencil or the crayon like this and hold it in my fist. But that doesn't really give you very good control. So you may have already learned that you balance it on your middle finger. And just to remind you, you have a thumb, you have a pointer, you have a middle finger, a ring finger, and I call that because that's where people wear rings most of the time. And then you have a little finger, or some people call them pinkies. I think pinky's kind of a fun word. So thumb, pointer or index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky or little finger. And when you hold a pencil, you put it on your thumb and you balance it on your middle finger. So it's kind of between, it's hard to describe, isn't it? But your index finger's on top and it's resting on your middle finger. So your thumb and your index finger are controlling where it goes. And that just makes it easier to write and draw. Okay, so that's something to practice if you haven't quite gotten it yet. All right, so let's get out the whiteboard. Okay. Now you can follow along as we go and trace the letters, or you might want to do it just on a blank piece of paper. I'm going to do it on the whiteboard with a marker. All right, so here we go. Let's start with A. And you know there are big letters and little letters. So there's a capital A, goes up to a peak and comes back down like a mountain. And then halfway up the mountain, do that. And then a little a has a round belly and a spine. So big A, little a. and then a capital B, straight line, little half circle, bigger half circle, and the little b, it's a straight line, and like the big B, it's got a belly. And then C, capital C, is a big curve, and the little c is a little curve. I have to stretch for D. So D has a line, and then one big curve like a backward C. And this one's tricky, and a lot of people get it confused with B because they look a lot alike, but in this one, the belly's in front like an A, the line down there, but you can see they look a lot alike. Just this one, they'd be mirror images of one another. Okay, let's start down here with a capital E, straight line, one on the top, one in the middle. This is a very squeaky whiteboard. And the little e doesn't look a whole lot like it's capital E. But it goes over and curves around. It always looks to me like it's a mouth ready to munch. And a big F starts out a lot like the E. Big line at the top, smaller line in the middle, and the little f is a curve at the top and a little line that goes through. Then our G starts out a lot like the C. It's a big curve, but then it comes about halfway up in a straight line and then over. And then G has a belly, kind of like the A, but it doesn't stop when you get down there. You keep going and curve around. And then H, it's like a goalpost. Two straight lines, one in the middle, and the little h has a line down and then one little bump. Let's do one more line here. I think we can fit one more in. So capital I, a line at the top and a line down and a line at the cross, and the top one and the bottom one are the same size. And the little I is kind of fun because it's just a line and a dot. Let's see, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. J is next. So the capital J looks like a fish hook, and the little j looks like an I that just kept going. And it has a dot. The next letter is K, and the big K starts with a big line. This can be kind of tricky. You start at the top, you go about halfway, and then you turn around and go the rest of the way. And the little k starts with a line and a little way, and then all the way down. Big K, little k. L, a line down and a line over for the capital L, and just a straight line for the little l. All right, let's see them again. Big A, little a. Big B, little b. Big C, little c. Big D, little d. Big E, little e. Big F, little elf. Big G, little g. Big H, little h. Big I, little I. Big J, little j. Big K, little k. Big L, little l. And we'll get all these letters that we've already practiced out of the way so we can do more. Still see them a little bit, but hopefully that won't distract anyone. Okay. All right, so next one that we're going to practice is the M. And it goes up and down and up and down. And it does look like a little, like a mountain. And the little M, so there's 1, 2 peaks. And the little M starts with a downhill and one little hill and another little hill. So you can see they look a little alike. Bump, 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 bump. And after M comes N. Go all the way down on the diagonal and then straight back up. So it only has 1 peak. And so the little N only has 1 bump. Bump. O's are fun. Great big round O, capital O. And a little round O. I can't reach that far. So let's start P down here. Long line. I've always thought that looked a little like a balloon on a string. And then the little p has a line. Looks like a little balloon. One thing on your sheet, it doesn't have it. I was going to say on your practice sheet, that what we haven't been talking about is this line. Doesn't always matter, but I should have put it in the other ones too that we already practiced, because some of the little letters stay up on top of the line, but some of the letters go down below, like the J and the G and the P and the Q. Q is kind of a fun letter because it starts out like an O, but then we just put a line through it. And a little q starts out a little bit like a G, but instead of twisting this way, once we get all the way down below the line, we go the other way. Q. So it goes this way, the way this capital Q has this line here. The little q has a curly Q. All right, after Q, what comes next? You got it, R. So a line down and a roundy bit, and then all the way down to the line. And our little R goes down to the line, and just that much. So it looks a little bit like an N, but you don't go all the way back down to the line. You just have one line right there. Next is S, and it does have a shape like a snake, and the little s is just like it but smaller. There we go. All right, let's put our line. Someday you won't need the line to tell you where to rest the little letters, or even the big letters. But it makes it easier when you're learning. All right, T is one line across the top and then straight down. And the little t has a curly Q and a line across the top. So it does look like the big T a little bit. And just the top slid down a little bit. Alrighty, U. This is a very squeaky chalkboard. And the little U looks a lot like it, but you come back down just so it doesn't tip over. V looks a lot like the U, except it's sharp at the bottom instead of round at the bottom. Down at an angle and back up at an angle. And the little V is just like it, down at an angle and back up at an angle. Some people draw birds that way. Just little V's in the sky. You know what I forgot? T, U, V, W. All right. So W looks a lot like an upside down M, doesn't it? Goes down at an angle like a V. Comes back up. Goes back down. Comes back up. It's like you just flipped an M over. And the little W, it's like a little M upside down. And it does look, this one especially, the little one, looks like two of these in a row, a double U. U, U. In fact, some people do the W, the capital, like that. So I don't want to confuse you. Your teacher will tell you the way that he or she wants it. Pointy at the ends or round at the ends. But the important thing is to have an up and a down, up and a down, and an up and a down and an up. All right, I think we're running out of room there, but we still have some letters to go. So M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W. Good work on those. There they go. M, N, O. All right, what did we stop with? W, so we don't have too many more. I think we can fit them all on this line. All right, so W, then comes X. And it's one line going that way, and one line going that way, and they cross in the middle for a big X, a capital X. Same thing, but smaller for the little X. You know what that reminds me of? Have you ever seen this sign? If you're crossing railroad tracks, it says railroad tracks. Could get bumpy ahead. Also X-Men, but you may not know about X-Men. X, then Y. It's like a V up in the air and then a straight line down. And here's another one of those little letters that has to rest on the line and go down. And then everyone's favorite letter, Z. And it goes straight across and then diagonally down and straight along the line. And some people put a little line there. And then Z, the little Z looks just like it. X, Y, Z. All right, so we've done our whole alphabet. Let's get rid of these by X. Bye, Y. Bye, Z. And now that we have done our practice, we can do something a little bit fun. Let's see if you can tell what I'm going to draw. Can you tell yet? If you're guessing a dinosaur, I'm not drawing it very well. Does that look like a puppy dog? All right, we're going to have a little bit of fun with this dog. Let me move this around. Can you still see the dog? All right, this is a song that you might have heard already. And it's about a dog named Bingo. B-I-N-G-O. Can you clap? There was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. All right, now we're going to take the O from Bingo's name and take it away. And this time when we sing it, we're gonna say B-I-N-G. We're gonna clap instead of doing the letter O because it's gone. There was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. All right, same thing. We're going to take the G away now. Wonder if you ever sang this song with Miss Kim, if you ever did the music and movements. Yeah. So now there's just a B-I-N left. There was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, yep, we're going to take the N away next. What's left? Just B and I. There was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. All right, let's take away the I. And you know the game. We're going to clap for the I, the N, the G, and the O. There was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, B, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. All right, last one. Now we're going to take the B away. And we'll have to clap for the whole name. Are you ready? There was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, B, whoop. Let's start that one over. And Bingo was his name. Oh. It's good to practice spelling your name too. You could do the same song and instead of Bingo, You could use your name, even though it might have to be a little more clapping if your name is longer. And I guess that's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, boot campers.